and today we're going to be filming one of those story time reading things. This one is called Trick or Treat, and it is kind of violent, so if that's not your style, click on another video on my channel and check those out instead. Also, this is my first time filming with the new lights I got, so, bear with me as I figure out where exactly they should go. Anyway, this one is a Reddit story called Trick or Treat, even though, yes, Halloween just passed, I'm aware. I had computer issues. I'll explain all that in a different video, okay? Anyway, this is called Trick or Treat, and it's by The Closer 1989 on Reddit. My doctor suggested I relive what happened last year on August 8th, 2016, so here goes nothing. I used to love Halloween. The entire month of October is Halloween for me. Scary movies, haunted houses, scary stories, and multiple Halloween parties. I'm not sure if I'll ever enjoy another Halloween again, though. I'm going to keep this short and not write everything that happened in the post. I physically don't think that I can write it all out in one sitting. There is no reason to drag on the story to make it something it isn't. There are no ghosts or monsters in the story, because sometimes reality is far more terrifying. It was August in California and very hot. My girlfriend and I would spend most of our nights over at her mom's house visiting and having dinner. We would all hang out in the backyard and they'd have drinks while I would sit there and vape. So while they would talk about any and everything, I'd typically sit there and look at memes on my phone and send them to my girlfriend that was sitting right next to me. But that night didn't end just like any normal Monday night would. Halfway through taco night at about 9 p.m., we all heard the doorbell ring. Her brother was in town since college didn't start back up in Chico State for another week or so. I got it, guys. He gets up to open the door and we just continue to sit there and make our plates. All I hear is Chris, Jennifer's brother, say, "What are you guys wearing?" And then followed up by, "Trick or treat." But it wasn't kids saying it. It sounded like a group of men. Really funny, guys. Get a life. By this point, I had set my plate down and was walking over to the door to see exactly what was going on. Chris shut the door and locked it. Now, Chris isn't a small guy. He's about 6 feet tall and in pretty good shape, but he had the look of confusion and fear on his face. He saw that I was walking over and shushed me immediately and waved me over to him. I was tiptoeing at this point for some reason. For whatever reason, I had to be quiet so nobody outside would hear me walking on carpet. "What's up, dude? What's going on?" He again shushed me and pointed to the window, gesturing for me to look outside. I peeked out the window and almost pooped myself. Standing there right at the front of the door were 4 grown men in costumes with pig's masks on holding pillowcases. I whispered as quiet as possible, "Chris, take your mom and Jennifer upstairs and call the cops. I'll be right behind." Before I could finish what I was trying to say, the power went out. Everything went dark and then they started chanting, "Trick or treat, open up the door and give us something sweet to eat." That's very hard to chant. They started banging on the front door over and over again. It sounded like they were banging the pillowcases and whatever was inside it against the front door. By this point, my girlfriend and her mom were standing right behind us, practically in tears. I froze and didn't know what to do. Side note for all the heroes reading this. We can all say what we would do when we are watching a horror movie or reading some creepy story online, but it's different when you have grown men in costumes trying to get into your house. But I digress. Luckily, Chris snapped me out of it. I called the cops, but they won't have someone here for 20 minutes. I could hear the operator on the line telling us to stay on the phone and get somewhere safe. I'm not sure what her definition of safe was, but nothing at this moment felt safe or remotely even real. "Babe, what do we do? What's going on?" Jen said while tears started to form in her eyes. I couldn't stand to see her like this, to feel like I couldn't protect her or save her from whatever was happening. "Listen to me, Jen. It's going to be okay. Let's go upstairs and quietly push your dresser and bed up against the door. If they get in, we have to do everything we can to keep them from getting inside that room, if they decide to break in." We didn't keep quiet. We did the exact opposite. We ran, and when I say ran, I mean we all booked it for the upstairs, like we were track stars. But when I was halfway up the stairs, I realized that we had nothing to protect ourselves with. "I'm going back down. If I'm not up there in 30 seconds, shut the door and start barricading yourselves in." I sprinted back downstairs, not giving her or her mom a chance to try and change my mind. I went to grab a knife from the kitchen, and I could see out the kitchen window that one of the guys was there. He was in his costume, standing with his face up against the dark window, tapping against it with his fingers, like he was playing some symphony on the piano. I grabbed the knife and ran down the hallway, back to the staircase. I was stopped dead in my tracks before I could reach the stairs. Standing in the garage was one of the guys. He wasn't holding a pillowcase anymore. He had his hand leaned up against the wall, and his head was tilted. I could feel him smiling. Even though I couldn't make out his face, I could just tell that crooked little smile saying, "Got you." I ran up the stairs as fast as I could and slammed the door behind me. I turned around to see if my girlfriend, her brother, and mom were lying on the floor with their faces down as two guys sat on the bed with matching pig masks on. Trick! Then silence. The one I'm assuming was the main guy said in a low, almost growl, "Don't make me repeat myself, boy," while holding a knife to Jen's throat. I didn't have time to make a move with the knife I just grabbed. If I did anything irrational or stupid, I'd just get everyone, including myself, killed. Keeping Jen alive was my #1 priority. "What do you want? We don't have money." He jumped up and started walking towards me while waving his knife around like he knew that he had trapped us. There is no way they didn't have this entire thing planned out. "Look, man, I don't know what you guys want, but you can take whatever you want. We haven't seen your face. Just don't hurt them, please." He continued walking towards me, slower than before, and then stopped and put his fingers up his chin like he was stuck in thought and pondering what to say next. What he did say still sends chills up my arms to this day. "My friend, we are not here for money. We are not here for candy. But we are here to eat you and your pretty little family." My mind was racing, and I was trying to figure out what was going on. I looked down and saw that Chris was looking up at me. We both knew that if something didn't happen soon, that we were all going to die. I looked back at the guy who was now crouching and looking up at me through his mask, giggling now as he said louder than before, "Or," I yelled, "what do you want?" The other intruder was holding the phone with the 911 operator on it. He turned it on speaker and held it between Jen and her mom's head while the operator was still talking. "Sir, we have a squad car 3 minutes out." The intruders both put their fingers to their mouths and gave us the shh symbol, as if to say, "Don't respond or you're dead." I was shaking at this point. I could feel my hands tighten around the knife I had previously stuffed in my back pocket. But before any of us could react, the operator started talking again. "Sir, are you there? I need to know that you're still with us. Our officers are right around the corner. Please say anything to let us know you're still alive. Actually, if you wouldn't mind just saying trick or treat, give us something sweet to eat. To be continued." Okay, so I will update you guys if anything comes after this part, like a part 2 or, anything. I will leave the link to the story down below in the comments so you guys can check that out. And wait for a part 2. This is a really good story. Alright, so that's what I have for this video. Goodbye, guys!